All right, one of our next guest, our next guest is one of, if not the hottest radio talk show host in the country. His show has been in syndication for almost 3 years, but already it's heard on 300 radio stations around the country. He is also one of radio's most controversial figures. He has strongly held and forcefully expressed conservative views, and they have made him the talk show host that liberals love to hate. And now joining us live from WDIV television in Detroit is the man himself, Rush Limbaugh. Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for joining us. I know you've been a little under the weather and you've got a busy schedule, but I appreciate your time. Let me ask you to explain for our viewers who've never heard Rush Limbaugh's show before, in 25 words or less. I listen to it all the time, but a lot of people haven't in our viewing audience. What is the Rush Limbaugh Show?
It is a spontaneous, unpredictable, controversial, substantively so, other than it's not controversial because of the way I treat people, program that is unlike any other radio talk show that you can find anywhere. Right. Now, no guests, anywhere.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I listen to you almost every day, and I think I have since you came to this area. And I find it an entertaining 3 hours. I don't always agree with you, and I would imagine that I'm like a lot of your listeners in that sense. Don't always buy into what you're saying, but you make it so fun. Is that your secret, you think? Is that why you're on 300 radio stations?
No, I'll tell you. Well, there are a lot of reasons why we've hit 300. Partly is the show is entertaining. I mean, there isn't any question about that. And it's it does so many things that aren't there in terms of filling a void. For one thing, I think, you say that you think most people might not agree, but they listen anyway. I think it's the opposite. I think most people who listen agree greatly and are glad finally the conservative point of view has got a chance here that doesn't have to share its forum with a liberal. And I think the liberals who do disagree with me, see, I don't make of myself a figure easy to hate because I'm not rude, mean, or antagonistic or confrontational with anybody.
No, you're not. You're not.
So it becomes a fun show. It's just a fun show to listen to.
It is a fun show, and I didn't mean to imply that most people don't agree with you. I don't know. I just imagine a lot of people don't always agree because you are awfully conservative.
There are a lot of, I'm sure, maybe when I say most people agree with me, I think most people in this audience probably do. There are, of course, some who don't, but...
Let me ask you this, Rush. I don't mean to interrupt you, but we're a little short on satellite time, so I got to get in as many questions as I can. I get the sense sometimes that you say things that you know are just going to rile the liberals up, even though sometimes I get the sense you might not totally believe it yourself. Do you ever do that?
Well, in a way, I mean, I love to tweak them, but I'm in those periods when I'm doing that, I'm trying to be so obviously satirical that I hope I'm not taken seriously. I do not say outrageous things for the purpose of making people mad or for the purpose of a cheap reaction or the purpose of a phone call. I really try to steer away from that. I think that's irresponsible. Okay.
You've spent a lot of time talking about the war in the last month or so, and in particular media coverage. What does America think of the way the media is doing its job on this war?
Well, this is a question that I'd love to turn around on you and I'd ask you, but you don't have to answer it. But when you guys in the TV media, which is I think primarily who people are mad at, when you look at Times Mirror polls which show that 57 to 70% of the people wish you guys would get out of the way and that the military should stop telling you as much as they are, I mean, I really have never seen in my lifetime, I'm 40, I've never seen a period of time where the American people are more angry at the media than they are now.
Yeah, well, I guess the answer to that, I could give you some kind of highly philosophical justification for journalism. I mean, people don't always like us, but they need us.
Well, it's an interesting contradiction to me because you've got people who are looking for the bottom line to be black in the news division, and then you've got the people who actually go out and gather the news, report it, who cannot really be concerned with what the people think. They've got their job to do, which is to find the truth. Yeah. And it's a tough time for the media to be in right now. I am not a media basher on this. I rather find all of it interesting as a removed observer.
Well, listen, Mr. Limbaugh, I know that you're on your way to your Rush to Excellence speech in Detroit. Sold out audience, I understand. Is that correct?
Sold out in about, the first 2,000 tickets went in 5 hours, and after that it was downhill. It's tomorrow night, and it's the second year we've been down here for. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. That show's a lot of fun, too. Okay. Thanks again for your time, sir. I appreciate it. Hey, my pleasure. Anytime. All right. Good luck. And by the way, Rush Limbaugh can be heard in the Flint area on WXYT radio in Detroit and northern part of the viewing area on WSGW in Saginaw.